Fire Emblem Engage just released on Nintendo Switch. For probably most of you, Fire Emblem is a series you've never heard of, or only know about thanks to Smash Brothers, which, let's be real, is probably where 99% of the player base found out about the game series. So what exactly is this super niche game, and is it worth your time? Fire Emblem is a tactical role-playing game. It was originally released in Japan for the first 6 games, though the original eventually released in North America, with the first game releasing all the way back on the Famicom, which for those of you who don't know is Japan's NES. This series has been around for longer than some of you have been alive, and only became more popular because of the combination of the Switch and Smash Brothers. After the very first game, more Fire Emblems released in Japan on the Super Famicom and the Game Boy Advance. In the future, there were more entries that went international, starting with the 7th installment in the series. There are 2 reasons for its release in the West. Again, Smash Brothers, which I've already mentioned, and the Fire Emblem anime OVA, which released in 1997. Why did we get the anime before the game? I don't know. Around the time that Pokemon was popular. Maybe they thought Fire Emblem too. Who knows? It does make you wonder though, if it wasn't for crossovers like characters appearing in Smash, if we would have ever gotten Fire Emblem in the West. Which is why we need more crossovers, Nintendo! Bring them back, please! Where's my Isabelle Calico and Monster Hunter? Wolflink Villager has been missing for 3 years, we need to find him. I'm dying over here. Merge more universes, please. Particularly with Animal Crossing, I just want more stuff for Animal Crossing, thank you. Fire Emblem has a pretty unique style. The gameplay can be compared to chess, like an 8-dimensional chess, but all the players are hot people. I didn't write that part, if you couldn't tell. Each character has an area that they're able to move to. The ultimate goal is to destroy the enemy team. Unlike chess, it's not like a one-by-one turn-based movement. You move one pawn, and then the other person moves a pawn, and then you move another pawn. No. Instead, you move each member of your entire team, and then the enemy moves each member of their entire team. This adds a bit more strategy to a game that we've been playing for centuries. Centuries. Chess? Probably centuries. 6th century CE. Yeah. Another main mechanic of Fire Emblem is the type matching. Kind of like how in Pokemon fire beats grass, grass beats water, water beats fire, or the strategy of rock, paper, scissors. But this game is a little more complicated. It's easy to remember that fire can set grass on fire, or that water can put out said fire. In Fire Emblem, the types are things like axe, lance, and swords. Swords are strong against axes, axes strong against lances, and lances are strong against swords. Some games also have like a magic triangle that works similarly to the melee triangle, but each triangle varies slightly with each game, which makes the next installment in the series that you play a little bit refreshing. On top of trying to decide what type of weapon to use and where to move, there's even more strategic options that the game forces upon you. For example, when you move a character and attack the enemy, they have a chance of counterattacking before their offensive turn. Before you attack, you need to look at your stats. Does this character have enough HP to survive a possible counter? Will they destroy the enemy in one hit? And if there is a counterattack, will your character perish? Fire Emblem is one of the few games, especially on Nintendo consoles, that has varying levels of difficulty: normal, hard, and maddening. Before you start your game, you can choose how hard you want the gameplay to be, as well as an option for classic or casual. Classic will follow the original rules of the game. If one of your characters falls in battle, that character will die in the game, and you'll be unable to utilize them in the future. Think of it kind of like a Pokemon Nuzlocke. Your Pikachu goes down in battle, you can't use him again for the rest of the game. Unless it's the main character of Fire Emblem, you know, the one with the red and the blue hair. If they die, it's just game over. If only Bubbles was in the game, then she could disappear forever. The casual option will let your characters fall in battle but magically recover so you can use them in the future. Just kind of like how you regularly play Pokemon. You can run over to a Pokemon Center, heal them up, and it's like nothing ever happened. Man, there's a lot of Pokemon references in this video. Fire Emblem is just basically chess Pokemon, but more anime. Wait, but Pokemon is an anime. Okay, Fire Emblem is just Pokemon with chess. Your Fire Emblem characters have different abilities besides just the different weapons, like a big old game of rock, paper, scissors. Not paper, scissors, rock, you crazy non-American. Characters' different classes range from axe fighters to archers to mages to paladins, lance flyer, martial monk, high priest, great knight, wolf knight, dancer, warrior, sword fighter, wing tamer, sword master, hero, sage. So many, and I didn't even name them all. There are your usual healers, your attack magic, some on horses that can usually move further, others are on flying Pegasi that can easily traverse the map. Pretty much anything you find in a fantasy story, it'll be here. Anyway, there's a lot of different options on the best way to hone your strategy thanks to the many different abilities that the game offers to you. Throughout the Fire Emblem series, one cool feature when choosing classic mode, where your character dies forever, the story will kind of have to change a little bit depending on who dies. Obviously, said person is no longer alive, therefore they cannot have dialogue for the rest of the game, which means that the story has to change slightly. Sometimes this makes for some cool replayability. If you go back and, don't kill that character because you're a nice person, maybe they have some lines in the future that you can see. There's also a fishing minigame. If you're an Animal Crossing fan, you know the most important mechanic for a game to have is fishing. Being able to fish in a game immediately brings up the rating a whole entire point. If you're really into hardcore strategy challenges, this game is for you. There's a lot you have to think about between all the abilities, what they do, and the best way to utilize them, or try to figure out if there's any cheesy strategy. Though I enjoy white cheddar more. It's probably the dumbest joke I've ever put in a video. There are normal strategies to pay attention to, like keeping your healers safe so they can heal your team to stop your other characters from dying. But then there are difficult strategies that require some thinking. There's a lot of risk when attacking an enemy in the game because of counterattacks. You can't just throw your guy out there and hope the entire other team isn't going to eat your free bait. The story in Fire Emblem is very out there. The writers lean heavily into a fantasy world, which is cool. There are stories of high-stakes fantasy world political drama. Sometimes there's some dragons being silly, and sometimes those dragons take over a church because dragons do that. And sometimes dragons are aliens from outer space. You won't be bored with this game if you enjoy stories. Fire Emblem is a game for you if you want a challenge. Sometimes playing a cozy, relaxing game like Animal Crossing for 3 years makes you want to try something completely different. It can be difficult at first to get used to the mechanics and strategy decisions, but the game does a really good job at kind of walking you through everything you need to know to become successful. However, it doesn't go through everything, and Google will be your best friend. You will have to research a bit to learn the hidden stuff that the game offers, but it's incredibly satisfying to do all this work and then win a battle. All your hard work and brain power went into your win. If you're on the fence, I say give it a try. I'm sure you're here watching this video because you've also been playing Animal Crossing for 3 years and you're looking to expand your horizons. I'm upset I wrote that awful pun, and I'm more upset for not taking it out. So if you want something different, go for it. And besides, the game has fishing, so it just immediately is worth $60.